Thanks. Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Telethon.
Hang on, you're not live yet.
Should I turn mine off now? Are we going to turn mine off?
Yep.
Okay.
Just let me know when you guys are ready to go live, and I'll flip you live.
Okay, let me just make sure I'm all muted here. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
And I'll have mine ready to hit go if we need it. But I am oh, how do I get my video on? There we go. Turn camera on. I'll have mine ready to hit go if we need it. But I figure it's easier if you take care of all that.
Yep. Yeah, I'll plan on being in charge of this one.
Okay. How do I get my video going?
Are you done? You're off the stream, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good to go. I'm just gonna figure out how to get my video on. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a
Donald,
countdown.
real quick, give me the spreadsheet again. Sorry.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, standing by.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Ready for real this time?
1 second there. Sheet is in the Hangout chat there.
Cool, thank you.
Let me kill that window and we'll be on our way. All right, yeah, we're good.
Okay, you are live in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Saturday, January 26th, and the 8th hour of the NWR live telethon for Child's Play. I'm Donald Terriel. To answer your questions, 6'3". It is, and well, Zach is out this evening, unfortunately, due to medical issues, but we do have 2 very capable replacements for him. We are here tonight to determine the 10 biggest news-making games of the year, as determined by a group of Nintendo News Report regulars and some special guests. On the call with us now, we have Justin Berube. Hello, Justin.
Hello, Donald, and everyone listening and watching.
And Neil will be on momentarily as after he has another fight with Windows. Unfortunately, the technical issues have been a bit of the order of the day here. But 2 very special guests that we have tonight. You just heard him on Smash Your Pieces, and he is here, I believe, to represent Super Smash Brothers in itself. Matt Zawodniak.
Well, you actually pronounced my last name perfectly. That's never happened before.
I have a lot of experience talking about Russian hockey players, so. and our other special guest this evening, he has been on Nintendo News Report before, and in lieu of the fact that Zach couldn't make it for the Dino Chat, we did want to have him on for another hour. Mr. Carmine Red. Hello, Carmine.
Hello, and dinosaurs. Yeah.
Yeah. Zach, get well soon, dude. We need you here. But anyway, so as mentioned, we have a list here of pretty much every video game for Nintendo that made big news in 2018. And so what we're doing is we're taking this list of about 48 games and we're narrowing it to 10. And then we have to rank them, and then there will be a snarky video about the whole thing. So the nominees are, for the audio listeners, Donkey Kong, Sky Skipper, NES Pro Wrestling, Pokemon Go, Fire Emblem Heroes, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Super Mario Odyssey, Doom, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 / Torn of the Golden Country, Celeste, Kirby Star Allies, Detective Pikachu, Labo, collectively, DKC Tropical Freeze Deluxe, now with Funky Mode, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Fortnite Battle Royale, Hollow Knight, Paladins, Mario Tennis Aces, Wolfenstein 2, Octopath Traveler, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, The Messenger, Undertale, Dragalia Lost, I don't know if this counts as a game, but Nintendo Switch Online, Super Mario Party, World Ends With You Final Remix, Dark Souls Remastered, Diablo 3, Pokemon Let's Go, Warframe, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Grease, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Yoshi's Crafted World, Mortal Kombat 11, Daemon X Machina, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Doom Eternal, Dragon Quest XI S for Switch, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Metroid Prime 4. And
I'm
off the
sorry, I
top-
wasn't listening. Can you go down that list again?
All right, and I think we can safely say off the top that if we were doing this award for 2019, Metroid Prime 4 would probably be in the top 5, but as it stands right now, I'm pretty sure we can cut it because we got no news about Metroid Prime 4 in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a 2019 story.
Definitely.
But if it was 2018, that I would argue for that for number one.
Yeah, like I said, if if this happened a month ago, like if they announced that at the Game Awards, then yeah, it would probably be number one. But we will.
I still don't think it'd be number one, but it would probably be up there.
Yeah, and so now that
I
we've made the
have
first,
a question on the. Oh wait, do we have Pokemon Detective the movie on here?
well, Detective Pikachu, the game is on the list, and honestly, I'm pretty sure it's probably safe, but I could be very confused.
I guess. Well, the segment is called the newsmaking games, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I mean the fact that this little 3DS adventure game got enough of a push that it's getting Ryan Deadpool Reynolds to make a movie about it.
Yeah.
And that movie actually might be good given the makers of it are the same folks what brought you the Warcraft movie. Also,
I saw the Warcraft movie. That's not a good statistic to cite.
Wait, no, come on. If you love Warcraft, you love that movie. But anyways, that's not on this. I will speak up for the Warcraft movie. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And Neil has joined us. Hello, Neil.
I'm here.
You
I made it. There's a chance I might cut out for a minute because this computer hasn't been connected to the Wi-Fi that is closer to where I am. But if I'm coming in fine, then maybe I'll just roll with it because everything else has been breaking today.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. If it messes up, then I'll switch over to the extender router that I have over here. But hi everybody. I'm on computer number 2. So that's fun. Windows Update can eat it. So let's talk about news-making games.
Yeah. And just so you know, Neil, we have already cut a game. We've already cut Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, no, but Metroid Prime 4 is the news-making game early favorite for 2019.
Yeah.
We should have more games, but still, the fact that Nintendo came out with that, we could be talking about it this time next year.
Yeah. So just a reminder here, since we are live on a telethon, the telethon currently has raised $4,396.69. I got to say that is a very nice total we got there.
It's very nice.
We are $103.31 from the Raritan Brothers Talking Game Music. Throw another 500 on that, and we get to Torture Dawn with Mario Party 5 for 50
That's
turns.
not torture. That's a great privilege.
It's a gift.
So
And
is Mario Party 5, is that going to be played online somehow with multiple people, or is it just Don playing it sadly by himself?
I think there was some talk of using Dolphin Netplay to get around that, but I don't know. You'd have to ask Don.
I'll root for that.
If we do that, I'm in. I don't care if I'm invited or not. I'm doing it.
All right, and we do have a giveaway for this hour as well, as Carmine would remind us. And the keyword is leaks. So that's LEAKS, like the Grinch was a bunk leak. So if you go to NintendoWorldReport.com, click on the telethon article, it's the big picture on the homepage. You can enter there and win some nice prizes. All right. So when Neil joined there, and after that brief interruption, we were talking about whether Detective Pikachu should be safe because of the movie, realistically.
I think no, because I think Detective Pikachu will probably be more of a 2019 newsmaking game.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I was having a conversation with someone. I think it was right before I think there was talk about how there was going to be a Detective Pikachu trailer soon. I legitimately forgot that game came out in 2018.
Yeah, I feel like that's the type of game that's going to be released on Switch in some way.
Yeah, I think
give into the hype of the movie.
If we look at that list, anything that's a 3DS game should not be on the list.
I can think of one 3DS game on this list, honestly, and Detective Pikachu was it.
Yeah, if 3D, I love the 3DS. Don't get me wrong. I think there was a recent episode of The Thirsty Mage in which I got accused of hating on the 3DS. Things like my favorite console. It was my favorite console from like 2011 to 2017. Like, its time is done. It had a great run. I'm going to play Etrian Odyssey on it. I'm playing Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story on it for some reason. It's awesome. It's not relevant anymore. It's old. Bring on the new.
Oh, but we have new 3DS.
The new.
All right, so we can, I guess we can cut Detective Pikachu there. Since we only have
are we mainly talking what we're cutting or what we're keeping right now?
well, those are the I think
We got like
Detective
34 items here. We gotta start cutting.
Should we start being brutal? Like pro wrestling on Nintendo, cool. I'm glad that's playable. No, it's not winning.
Yeah.
What did Splatoon do this year? Honestly,
Octo expansion.
Yeah.
So it had some DLC. I don't know.
It had pretty it was pretty significant DLC, admittedly, but
yeah. I think Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
I think Splatoon. Let's give Splatoon another round. I walked in on my brother watching a Splatoon festival in Japan live, where people were just like in costume and dancing, and I was like, "What am I watching here?" So there are people it's still very happening for.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot. If we just focus on the games that predate 2018, outside of Sky Skipper and Splatoon 2, I don't think anything else hangs.
Yeah.
So we're doing a top 10. Oh,
yeah.
It's been a rough hour or so trying to figure out computer stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a 5, but we did a 5 last year with Games of the Year on this show, and mistakes were made, such as letting the show go 2.5 hours. But that's another story.
Yeah. So if we're doing 10 with that in mind, I think Donkey Kong, Sky Skipper, and Splatoon 2 are the only pre-2018 releases that hang.
Yeah, and
does anybody disagree? I could see maybe a case for Pokemon Go and Fire Emblem Heroes. Maybe Xenoblade 2 with Torna.
If there's one mobile game that's going to hang on this list, I think it's going to be Dragalia Lost.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Fire Emblem or Pokemon on. All they really did was just continue existing.
I think you need to leave Xenoblade because throughout the year there were many news stories about all the updates and new blades and everything, plus Torna. So I think that was a big news-making game throughout the year.
I don't know,
but I think Mario Kart 8, even with the Labo support, which
I honestly, get Mario Kart out of here.
I have all the tools to do that. Have never tried it
because it's not going to control as well. Traditional controller, it's going to be a stupid little thing.
I think
once
having a child means that I don't drink as much and do stupid things. So like I haven't reached that. Like
let me borrow your Labo.
That's the kind of thing. I'm in college. I'm drinking heavily. We're gonna break out the cardboard and go race some Mario Kart. Like that's how that happens.
I can sort of see keeping Mario Kart 8 Deluxe around just because of the sales success, but I
don't know. I don't think that's enough. We knew it was a sales success.
Yeah, Mario Kart's one of the best-selling franchises of all time. It's not really a huge surprise that this one sold well.
It sold well in a successful system.
Yeah, Although I do love that we can continue to pile on Polygon for that stupid pie chart Ben Kuchera published a few years ago. All right, yeah, I'll let Mario Kart go, and so we'll kick out the predating games except for Xenoblade, Splatoon, and those 2 arcade games.
Yep.
Making good progress.
All right. Now, if we look at Kirby Star Allies, I think we should keep around. Celeste, I think Celeste and Hollow Knight might be a decision that we have to make. I think they are representative of successful indies on Switch.
Between the two, I would give it to Celeste because Hollow Knight didn't really make headlines as a Switch game to me. I love Hollow Knight.
No, keep Celeste.
But
keep
Celeste.
I agree.
I think Labo needs to stick around.
I don't know, but it seems like it was a pretty big deal around this time last year when it got announced, but like I think the reception is the reception being a complete wet fart enough to keep it around.
Well, I don't think the reception, like, it's not a reception. It's like how much like Nintendo is pushing it, how much it was in the news, and how much people are like, what's going on with Labo? Are they really doing another one? Is it really being successful? Even, I guess, even in this case, you know, negative press or negative speculation is still going to keep it around. I think it's still a newsmaker.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Labo might be like 8 on the list, but I think it might make the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
As many jokes as we got about new Funky Mode, I don't think either of the May ports are going to make it.
I agree.
Hyrule Warriors, no. Paladins, no. I think Fortnite's are representative of PC free-to-play coming to Switch.
Yeah, Donkey Kong and Hyrule Warriors are fine games, but Fortnite is the one that actually is the fact that it exists is worth.
Yeah.
Fortnite existing on Switch was enough of a story, but I think it made enough news on its own that it could end up pretty high on the list. But we'll come back to that later.
And then that combined with crossover.
I think that Wolfenstein 2 runs on Switch.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein, I'm a little hesitant on that one because it was announced last year, wasn't it?
But I think I was just thinking of the fact that it came out and seemed to perform pretty well on Switch. Although, I mean, we cut Doom for being a similar game, so.
I can see that, but it feels to me that the fact that it was announced last year was kind of an implicit statement that it would work.
I think there's something to be said for Wolfenstein 2 and the game right after it on the list, Octopath Traveler, as 2 games that they came out, and then I don't think I ever heard another human being really talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People played it, that was cool. I enjoyed both games, and then Octopath seems like it very much came and went as much as I enjoyed that game.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't heard much of Wolfenstein 2 at all. Very little.
Hey,
it's a great game.
Yeah, I see it in the store, and I'm always on the fence about picking it up.
I see this thing from Discord. It's like Arif brought up streaming games. Those aren't a thing here, but that could. I mean, if only I had gotten the chance to play that and more people had been exposed, could that have been on this list?
Like with Resident Evil 7, right?
Yeah, Resident Evil 7
and
Assassin's
lived in Japan.
Creed Odyssey. I mean, imagine Assassin's Creed Odyssey did. And from what I hear, it actually works well. It's just not in the news cycle because it's only in Japan.
And from what our old friends at the Famicast have said, if you try to do that outside Japan, they will literally say, "What the hell are you doing?"
I guess that's kind of like a philosophical discussion as to that would be big news in an alternate universe, but does that count in this universe where it didn't come to us?
No, and even if it did, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's that good.
I would say that if it came worldwide, that would be good. But it's as it is now.
You're talking about the service and not the game, I think.
We might have to disqualify Nintendo Online.
Yeah,
when we get to it,
kicked off because it's not a game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it has a game profile page on the website. Technically, I suppose that does count, but
have to charge you for it somehow.
Well, speaking of the chat, Jesse Jones in the chat says, "Does Nintendo Switch Online count as a game? I thought games were supposed to be fun."
Oh, it was fun paying. Paying for that membership and then paying another $60 for NES Joy-Cons. That was fun. Yeah,
and it was also.
I know, the NES Joy-Cons,
because it didn't come in.
The NES Joy-Cons are super stupid, but I love them. But they're really low price.
If I didn't have to go to E3 this year, I probably would have bought one of them or bought a set. But nah, not at $90 Canadian.
I would humor the argument that you could put NES on Switch Online or whatever it's called on this list.
That's why Pro Wrestling was actually nominated, was because it was the NES game on Switch that stood out for the fact that it actually hadn't been re-released 5,000 times.
Joy Mech Fight. I mean, that's a 2019 thing, but you can play that if you have a Japanese account, which I haven't done yet.
just for that. I've been wanting to play that game for so long.
I've actually played it a bit. It's all right.
Okay, so
I mean, I'm not expecting gold there.
Hang on, hang on. I gotta go cut Final Remix.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about that any further.
Nothing for Mario Tennis Aces, or I mean, I suppose technically the fact that it has voice chat with randos could be a big deal.
That was the Nintendo Switch Online, right?
It's not Mario Tennis. It's the first one we noticed that has voice chat with randos, but it's not the only one that does.
But they added that to Mario Kart also, didn't they?
Yeah, they added it at the same time. We noticed it on Mario Tennis first because Mario Tennis had patch notes that talked about it before it went live.
Yeah, so I think
and
the voice chat's enough to make it news making of the year. Mario Tennis you might want to keep for now, but I'd put a big
if it's there, it's number 10.
Yeah.
Although I did love that there was this attempt to make it an honest-to-God esport, but then again, farming simulator is apparently an esport now, so who the hell knows?
Hey, it could be a hell of Mario Tennis could be a hell of an esport if they really put the effort into it. It's basically a fighting game. I'm not even being sarcastic.
All right. We're into this August-September block here. Dead Cells Into the Breach was a headliner for us for a Nindy showcase, but is that enough to keep it in the top 10, do you think?
It's an excellent game, but I think it's in the top 10.
I don't even know what it is, honestly.
It's
a roguelike turn-based strategy game that is like immaculately designed. It's really easy to jump into and play. It requires a lot of like tense decisions, and I like it a lot.
I think that there is a distinction between a good game and a news-making game, and I do not think that that Into the Breach meets the bill for news-making. I didn't really hear much about it besides just, hey, this game's good.
It is very good. I highly recommend it.
And in the YouTube chat, Jesse Jones again saying that Mario Tennis Aces was nominated for Best Fighting Game in the Discord that Matt's in with him.
It sure was. I voted for it.
All right. We'll keep Mario Tennis around, but still making cuts. Monster
Hunter
Generations.
I forgot that game came out. I forgot that Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate came out.
Yeah, it's sort of...
It was the second most important Monster Hunter game of the year, which that's not going to get in the top 10.
Yeah,
I'd argue that for a Nintendo website, Monster Hunter World was more of a news-making game than Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Generations was more interesting on Switch before it was announced for the West, and afterwards it just hey, it's here.
Yeah, I played the demo for it in Japanese. I never did anything with the North American version.
I bought that game full freight, and I've played like 2 hours of it. Which is actually more than I played on the original generation, so it's got that going for it. So Dead Cells probably has to go as well.
The biggest Dead Cells story this year wasn't even about the game.
Yeah, like I love Dead Cells, but I think that's another thing where it's like that, Hollow Knight and Celeste. Like you kind of have to pick
and I think
one of those games to make the list, and I think Celeste is probably the early favorite for it.
Yeah. So I guess Messenger, the same thing. I mean, Undertale is a big freaking deal, but
there is one thing I want to say about the Messenger. I want to go back. I will say
it's great.
Besides it being great, but when they first showed the Messenger, really, with some Nindy type event with a sizzle reel type thing. After that whole event, I'm like, yeah, there looked like there's some good games, but only one really stood out to me, and that was the Messenger. So to me, that was a news-making game at that point in time, immediately.
Undertale came out on Vita before it came out on Switch.
Okay.
I don't know if it being on Switch is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Well, it was the first. I mean, it was the first. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good games. They come out on Switch. A lot of people are happy. They might even buy a ton of copies on the Switch, but I don't think it breaks as news.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a lot of people all of a sudden say, "Oh, this is great to have it."
Yeah. So Dragalia, I think, as Nintendo making a deal with a company that isn't their normal partner for a mobile game.
Dragalia Lost has another bent to it that I think it should probably almost be a lock for the top 10. If you look at the timeline and everything as to when Furukawa, the current Nintendo president, when he took over, I'm pretty sure that Dragalia Lost is kind of like his first big thing that he did on his own. So in addition to their partnership with Cygames and everything that's going on with that in the mobile space, this is also one of the first major decisions from Nintendo's current president. And I think in that respect, I think Dragalia Lost, like I bounced off that game harder than I expected to. I played it for like a week and then was like, I don't need to do this anymore.
Was Furukawa that recent, or in
he only officially took over in June. They announced that deal in their April financial call, didn't they?
He was still working for the company, and when they announced that in June, I don't think it was like they told him like on May 31st, being like, "Oh, guess what? You're going to be president, guy." Like,
yeah,
but I'm pretty sure Dragalia Lost, or at least if not, it's still one of the big. Even if maybe Kimishima did have more to do with that, it's a big thing. That's one of the first major things to happen after him becoming president.
It is also Nintendo's first original IP on mobile, which in itself I think is a pretty huge deal. I would keep it just for that.
Yeah, and Lemonade with a very
brings up a good point. Why hasn't this game released in Europe and Australia
or Canada? I can't play it.
I wouldn't say that necessarily makes it not newsworthy. That just makes it kind of disappointing in a way.
That
might even make it more newsworthy. There's more people saying, "Where can I get this?"
That thing's been out for almost half a year.
Yeah, I mean, they just added Portuguese, Spanish, or Portuguese support for like Brazil and South America to Fire Emblem Heroes this week. So,
I still think it's newsworthy. Even if that's, I would strike that against Nintendo as far as goodwill. But if we're just talking about like what got us talking this year, I still say we can't cut Dragalia.
Yeah, I think it should be for now, but I think
Nintendo's been pushing it on Twitter too, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll save Dragalia. We'll say Dragalia is safe for now. So Switch Online finally came out. That's not enough to keep it in there, is it?
I don't think it's a game, so I think cut it.
But isn't it a ton of NES games?
No, that's
no,
that's an app, a separate.
But you pay for it in the same package.
It's part of what I get Nintendo Switch Online, but Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay. Here's my personal take on that is I think the NES games should be included as part of Switch Online because that's the only way that you can access those on your Switch. However, the combination of that still not a news-making game.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and didn't we already know about that stuff in 2017?
We knew what was. We knew they announced some of the first 10 games, I think, in April, and then they basically announced the second set in the September Direct or around the September Direct.
Yeah.
So okay, but online, bye. Super Mario Party. I think
that has online.
Yes.
I think
that's the news making part of it. That it has terrible online multiplayer.
And
it outperformed expectations, didn't it? It came out like October. Like, wait a second, how did Super Mario Party sell this many units?
It did really well. Yeah,
it was one of the major surprises of that month. And then all of a sudden, we start hearing it used in the same sentence as Smash and Pokemon when you get to like what are Nintendo's big releases for the fall.
I mean, there were only like 4 games that they came out with in the fall.
Well, we'll get to that, but
but it sold well. It wasn't like then this.
We'll come.
Fire, so
yeah, so keep it around or cut it.
I say cut.
Cut.
Yeah, let's cut it. I think it'd be like in the top 15.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, it'd be number 11. Dark Souls Remastered. The delay was a kind of a big deal because they unintentionally Mass Effect 3'd it.
It's also the announcement for that was January 2018.
Yeah, that was like one of the first stories of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, so one of the entire life cycle of Dark Souls on Switch was in 2018, And I think by that, like, it might not make the final list, but I think it's worth keeping around.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
keep it.
I
roll
don't.
the amiibo into that too.
Yeah, I don't think Dark
Yeah.
Souls is going to make our top 10, but I say don't cut it yet.
Okay.
And I echo that same feeling for Diablo 3 for a lot of the same reasons. The life cycle for that was a lot more condensed because that was announced in August, came out in early November.
Yep.
And
has an
I
amiibo.
personally, Diablo 3 was the first time that, like, really Blizzard has been on a Nintendo console in forever. The first time Diablo has been on a Nintendo console since what, like the late 90s?
It's never been on a
Diablo.
Nintendo console.
Okay, it's never
Never.
been on a Nintendo console?
Never.
Okay.
Like even the console.
now-
port
Yeah,
of-
because that came out on PlayStation 1 only.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I think the fact that both of those are on Switch is a sizable deal. I think when push comes to shove, we'll probably have to pick between them.
Another thing about Diablo is that makes it newsmaking, in my opinion, is it got a whole system bundle.
Yeah.
Games could
Yeah,
say-
that might be a good tiebreaker for Diablo
Yeah.
3 and Dark Souls Remastered is
Right.
that system bundle.
Right.
Because they both had amiibo.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a couple of games on here that I'm pretty sure if I cut them, you all will kill me.
I mean, it also just doesn't make any sense. I would say the two biggest news-making games from Nintendo in 2018 were Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
All right, and Matt, you're the Warframe guy around here. Is it big enough, do you think, to hang on a top 10 list like this?
So it is inaccurate to say that I'm a big Warframe guy. I literally started playing it like 2 weeks ago, but I am
Bigger than us.
I'm so hooked on it though. Like I'm in love with it. And the biggest thing that the Switch version did for me was convince me that I wanted to play on PS4.
What? Betrayal.
I think
I heard the support was really good though. Like why?
It is.
Give me like max of a minute elevator pitch for Warframe.
Okay, so Warframe, I mean, it's a loot game. There's only so many different ways that I could try to sell you on a loot game if you don't already play loot games. But there's like it feels like it's a loot game that doesn't feel like it's just gonna nickel and dime me out of everything, and like it feels like it's actually fun. Like it is just really fun and satisfying to play Warframe because it's very fast paced. It doesn't take forever to just get to the basics of it, and I don't think I've ever played a loot game that is just like the sheer controls of like action, platforming, and shooting all together is so good, and I love it. I am having so much fun with it. But the Switch version, I don't mind resolution. I do mind frame rate, and
Okay.
the frame rate's kind of bad in the Switch version.
Okay. So cool that it's there, but not going to crack a top 10 for this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's a panic button port. They do magic.
I
but
think
even magic can only do so much.
And there's a game on here I think that would better represent panic button ports anyway.
Yeah.
Still have to get to. Greece I put on here because that came out of nowhere. Again, it's not going to beat Celeste Hollow Knight, that classic game, and we've already cut Hollow Knight. So, Mario U Deluxe, that seems like
technically it made a lot of headlines. Technically,
what with that Facebook crap?
Oh yeah.
Not the game, but it caused a lot of headlines because of the Super Crown.
I will point out. So I went to
yes.
PAX South. I went to PAX South last weekend. An alarming amount of Bowsettes. Alarming.
I think we keep it then. You
No,
can't ignore that.
We need to ban it.
Okay, Mario's cut.
No.
Well, the artist of one of the
Because
biggest
that's not even a
manga
real character.
franchises right now is doing fan art for this game.
But that's not. It's not real. So is it actually fan art for the game or fan art to someone's
Well,
fantasy? Sick, twisted
it's
fantasy.
a news-making game because it created that sensation.
Just because it caused a different news event doesn't mean the game is newsmaking.
So can we replace it with Bowsette then?
No. All right.
has the power to boot people from this call?
I do. I'm doing some list surgery here, so it might be a minute, but all right. So Yoshi, I mean, honestly, if we want
No.
to talk about memes, I'm pretty sure this is the year that we found out that Yoshi commits tax fraud.
That's canon. That's canon.
It's
He's in
14th
14th Street. He's the
canon.
only character that asks for tax exemption.
Okay. MK11. That, I mean, the fact that came. The thing with MK11 is, yeah, it's a big deal, but I don't think it was the biggest thing that got announced that night, and may not even be the second biggest.
Yeah, and I think that Dark Souls and Diablo 3 are more shocking than MK11 being on Switch. I mean, Injustice was on Wii U. Like, I think it's surprising that MK11 is going to be on Switch, but I don't think it's like there's a reason why that was kind of a low key, like, oh yeah, it's also coming to Switch. Because if they were to come out and be like, guess what, it's coming to Switch, it'd be like, okay, yeah, like Mortal Kombat games and NetherRealm Studios games have when they could come to Nintendo platforms. This isn't really anything that new.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as just looking at this bottom of the list here, Daemon X Machina, there's a very specific group of people for whom this is a big deal. Generally, I don't think it's going to be that big, aside from it being like the original game that got announced at E3.
It's kind of in that same camp
Wait,
where I felt about like Hyrule Warriors and Tropical Freeze.
I don't know if how much of this can be seen, but
are you on video? Oh,
there's a newsmaking baby.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Say hi, Niles.
Hi, Niles.
He wants to
He wants to show his support for Daemon X Machina.
Oh, he's trying to back up Octopath, I thought.
Yeah. No, it's Sushi Striker. He's just trying to touch the microphone right now.
Tell Niles to donate so that Don can play Mario Party.
Yeah, there's a baby on the stream. Everybody donate.
Because
he's really into the microphone right now. I apologize.
Our future NWR overlord.
Oh God!
I got it.
He knocked down the microphone. All right.
An unexpected child has occurred. Well, not necessarily unexpected.
All right.
You ready?
He might laugh, but anyway, Daemon X Machina is good, but not newsmaking. I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is very newsmaking.
That's very.
RFN earlier was talking about what's going to be the TV game at E3 next year. I would not be surprised in the least if it was Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
See, the thing with that is that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, like, they'd be dumb if it's not out before Endgame.
It's also, that's not even just newsmaking for a Nintendo audience. There's also like Marvel vs. Capcom just had that whole thing where they couldn't get any of the X-Men because of Disney, and now this game rolls along and here's the X-Men.
Yeah,
like that's a huge deal, I think.
Yeah, and it's also reviving the Nintendo Team Ninja relationship, which maybe that's not a good thing.
And it is. I mean, it's also there's a degree of fascination from the fact that it was an Activision series that did. I think Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 got like ported to Xbox One and PS4 as one of the last ditch efforts of my son's distracted. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Anyway, Marvel Alliance is also like it's the future of the Marvel license in a post-Activision having the license world, which has been one of those things that's been kind of like in an arrested development outside. I mean, well, you have Spider-Man on PS4, but like there's Square Enix with their supposed Avengers game that hasn't happened yet, but we're getting Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Which is awesome, and like I love those games. I'm super excited to whatever comes up with that weird game. It was at the tail end of the year, which I think might either give us recency bias, or we need to acknowledge the fact that like if we're looking at the totality of 2018, does one cool announcement in December trump like Diablo 3 and Dark Souls having their entire announced to release cycle?
Well,
I also think it could be a bigger.
Is still in there. We can have that discussion later. But
I'm just saying.
The next step.
I think it's shocking that Doom Eternal is coming to Switch. I think that's a shocking thing.
Every time I hear it, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
announced it day and date with the other versions.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're looking at 2019 things that you wouldn't think would come to Switch, I mean, Mortal Kombat, that seemed maybe not likely, but if you told me before this, before QuakeCon that Doom Eternal was coming to Switch, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah. Dragon Quest 11S. What even like?
It got a name this year, it got the release.
It came
window.
out on PS4. It's a really good game. I'm excited for it to come to Switch because I'd like to cover it on the website. But I don't remember anything other than vague. Maybe it'll come out in 2019. Who knows?
I don't even think
it's a 2019 story. I think they just had a stream in Japan,
and I don't think they really said anything other than
here's the voice actors for Japan.
Yeah, and there's going to be some new stuff in this version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was a 2016 newsmaking game of the year when they said it was coming to NX.
No, that was 2015.
Oh, was it 15? I thought it was 16.
Yeah. And and Fire Emblem Three Houses, that's a 2019 thing. That's okay. It got a name.
We got so little news on Fire Emblem Three Houses this year that the Fire Emblem subreddit temporarily became a Kirby subreddit.
Okay, so I know I feel like I'll at the end of the day defer to Matt on this because I think he's way more into Fire Emblem than I am, as evidenced by the fact that he knows about the Fire Emblem subreddit. I don't go there. I think that there's a news quality in actually getting that trailer at E3 and also the delay. It's not uplifting news, but I think that Fire Emblem Three Houses, the fact that it missed 2018, is newsworthy. But I think also the way that Nintendo's 2018 shook out, they didn't need it. So, I think if we were looking at it now, where it's Nintendo's Q4, they underperformed, then maybe Fire Emblem Three Houses would be a bigger deal. But the way it shook out, Nintendo is fine with Fire Emblem. Maybe they're even better off with Fire Emblem coming out in 2019 than 2018.
Also, let this serve as a reminder for everyone to go vote Camilla for the Choose Your Legends poll in Fire Emblem Heroes.
No, vote Micaiah.
No!
Micaiah might get dethroned by Erica. It's way more important that Micaiah gets it. Micaiah is important.
In the name of ripping off the bandage, though, anyway. Vote
Camilla's going to win anyway.
All right,
vote Micaiah, so your vote matters.
Are we down? So we have 16 games, and we need to trim 6 more.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we need to get down to 10. So
we should pick between Donkey Kong and Sky Skipper.
Now
we spent 3/4 of the segment doing this, so we gotta start killing.
Yeah, I think Donkey Kong and Sky Skipper should both be safe. Honestly, if you ask me.
I say if it's between one of them, keep Donkey Kong because Sky Skipper is more of a curiosity than Donkey Kong is.
Yeah, but Nintendo's never pulled something out of the vault like that. I guess you could say Star
Fox.
They did literally the year before. They did Star Fox 2.
Yep.
That far back?
That was a year.
Pretty far back.
I mean, in original release.
They pulled pretty far back for Star Fox 2.
Oh, it was only 30 years as opposed to 40.
You got it. No, Sky Skipper.
Wasn't there a rush on Sky Skipper? It's I'm who was it? Who was was it one of you guys rushing to get the high score?
Yeah, I had the world record a couple times over the summer.
Here's my thing. If Sky Skipper never was released on Switch, would anyone care?
No.
Nope.
I feel like I was in favor of Sky Skipper maybe hanging on the list, and now I'm against it. Because really, you could have just done, I bought the game. I haven't played it yet. I bought it because I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Okay, before this announcement, I had never even heard of Sky Skipper, but I did know that the arcade version of Donkey Kong never got a home release.
It never got home release, but it did get re-released in I think 2004 as part of a Donkey Kong Jr. and Mario Bros.
Wait, we have breaking news. What's the breaking news?
We just hit the Reardon Brothers stretch goal. We are
Yay!
We are at 45.06 and 69 cents. Very nice.
Nice.
So what's that? 500 away from Mario Party?
We are just under $500 away from Mario Party.
All right, looking at this, I think we can cut Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good game. I think the updates were cool.
It managed to stay in the news a lot, but even with that, I still don't feel like it was a big news story.
Yeah. Like I think it's a really good Kirby game. Maybe one of the best. And I think that people who kind of shortchange that are missing out on a really fun game. We might as well put some of the ones that like aren't going anywhere onto the top 10. So yeah, Pokemon Smash,
Fortnite.
Yeah, I think Fortnite probably.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Dragalia Lost should be there. Looking at the other ones we have marked as safe, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I feel like that's a pretty safe bet.
I feel like that's pretty safe.
I would keep that.
Okay.
All right.
So now we have 6. So that means what we have like 11 for 4. Or no, we have like 9 for 4 spots or something. I don't know.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 4. So we need
to cut 2 more, and Doom Eternal. I think so. We need to cut 3.
Yeah.
I'd cut Doom Eternal.
Cut Doom. I think.
Okay. All right. As far as the 2017 games go, man, this is a tough call, but I think like Torna actually getting its own standalone release honestly puts it ahead of Splatoon 2 as far as games that got huge expansion.
I think that's a really close call, and I'd be fine with either way because I think Splatoon 2, just by the virtue of like it's still a very popular online multiplayer game. Nintendo supported that game throughout the entirety of 2018. They added the Octo expansion, which it's a good expansion. Even if you listen to the Patreon Game of the Year stuff, I might have talked a lot of trash on Octo expansion because I was trying to win some battles. Octo expansion is good. It's just not totally for me. Torna the Golden Country, I think that Xenoblade's updates throughout the year were made. God, with both of these games, I can just dump on them because I don't really like Xenoblade 2. I think they both had.
Maybe there's some stable ones.
I think PokePal in the chat said that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out of beta this year.
No. I mean, that's true. A lot of those updates like just make the game more playable.
I think that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is extremely appropriate to make the list here on Anime World Report.
Now here's the thing. Here's why I think Xenoblade deserves it over Splatoon. Is Splatoon had like the regular updates, so every time they're like a new weapon's coming, like you're like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, they may have had a lot of news, but it was like the same story basically over and over. But when Xenoblade had updates, they seem way more.
All right, here's my rudimentary way to separate it. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 added in like you could get the characters from the first Xenoblade.
You could get Shulk, you could get Elma.
And that's cool. So
yeah, you could have good characters now.
Yeah.
There's plenty of good characters.
So is Labo safe?
I'm seeing people say the stream is down.
Oh dang.
John.
In that case, Labo's safe. Let's go. Because I think even in failure, I think Labo is if you were to look back and be like, what was Nintendo's 2018?
John just texted me.
You still got to talk about it.
I'm loading up mine.
Okay, we're switching to folks. If you're listening on the audio, this probably isn't affecting, but we're trying to switch to a backup stream here. So
all right, so we have Donkey Kong, Fortnite, Pokemon, Smash, Dragalia Lost, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Xenoblade 2. So we need
Labo.
3 more.
And Labo. So that's so.
Can we get Diablo 3 on there? Because I think that's probably going to.
I think if I had to pick between Diablo, Dark Souls, and Doom, I'd go Diablo.
Yeah. And I think the bundle is a big part of that.
And I also think the fact that it's Blizzard, because Doom, we got the previous Doom in 2017. Dark Souls Remastered, it's not like Bandai Namco is like ignored Nintendo. They made Smash Brothers, for Christ's sakes. I think Diablo 3 for the bundle and the fact that it's Blizzard coming to a Nintendo system after decades. Yeah. Mario Tennis Aces probably doesn't hang. I think we're looking at... So what, we have 1 spot left?
I think Celeste is the one.
I think it's Celeste. Celeste is the 10th. Then now we got to rank.
Oh boy. Okay.
We could do Condorcet.
We should.
Wait.
Man, like
I think
Matt, I'm so glad you're on staff because you introduced that to me, and it's damaging. Like I have that NES list that I'm stoked to look at the numbers.
Wait, what is it?
If you like Condorcet. if you like Condorcet polls, thank anime because that's why I know about it.
All right, cool.
All right, so
I personally
Anime will report. It's a
So
thing.
switch Marvel for Sky Skipper.
No.
All right, I'm setting one up now.
Here, in 2019, you look back at 2018, what are you going to think about? Like
Yeah,
some
but I think
random
Marvel's gonna
Nintendo arcade game that we didn't care about? I mean, I know you were the highest score in the world because like 30 people were playing it.
You got that right. Anyway,
Here-
Neil, I feel like Marvel is going to be a bigger deal when it comes out than.
I actually think that Marvel won't be a bigger deal when it comes out because I
Yeah.
think it'll come out and you'll be like, oh, cool, it's one of those games.
Yeah.
I think the existence of that game, and you know what's not here that I'm surprised that we had like 40 things. Final Fantasy VII.
There was either going to be that or Starlink that somebody was going to bring up.
So I would actually make a motion to replace Marvel Alliance 3 with Final Fantasy VII.
Wait,
Okay, 7.
With 7.
Oh, 7.
Because
Because
I think that is, especially with all those Final Fantasy games, I think it is infinitely more interesting the fact that the Final Fantasy game that spurned Nintendo is now coming to a Nintendo system 20 years after it first debuted. I think that is a really like noteworthy, newsworthy thing. I think that's more important than when Final Fantasy VII eventually comes out. And I think that Square messed up by not shadow dropping it after the announcement, because I think if they did that, we're all buying it. I think like if it just comes out like, oh, it's that and 9 coming out in March, like no one's going to buy it as much as we would have if it came out right after a direct.
well, it was between Final Fantasy and
To be known, I'm not buying it.
Interesting, but they announced like 5 Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, but
4, 5 Final Fantasy games at once. So they really
but
spread out the impact of each individual game's like
But
news.
the fact, but I mean, Final Fantasy VII basically wrecked Nintendo for a decade, and the fact that it's finally coming to a Nintendo system, I see where Neil's coming from here.
Yeah, but we're talking about like what was the most like news making, and I mean that's an
I
interesting
think Final
flashpoint.
Fantasy VII coming to Switch is really news making.
I know, but was
I
there
don't
a
think
follow
anybody-
up to that, or was it like okay, they're doing 7, it's not the remake, but also we're actually getting dates for 10 and 10.2 and 12.
Yeah, we
15's
didn't get
out
those
now.
until
Maxima
we didn't get dates for 10 and 10.2 until 2019. To be fair,
until now. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot of confusion there, and like
Okay,
I get you.
yeah.
It's an important announcement, but in terms of actually being impactful throughout the year.
Okay, here. I think we can at least all agree that Final Fantasy VII would be higher than Sky Skipper.
yeah.
No,
I agree.
I really don't agree to that.
I agree.
So I can't agree to that. Everything.
100%.
Which Sky Skipper is out of the
Oh my
top
God,
10,
Sky
guys.
Skipper.
Come on.
I know. I just want to. If Final Fantasy VII doesn't make the top 10, I just want to make it clear that it would have beaten Sky Skipper.
I just want to say something about that. And I know I get biased. I just don't really like Square Enix games. I don't. So that's why it's to me. It's like, okay.
But yeah,
There's still big news. Like even
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't like the game,
I think
I feel
so.
like Sky Skipper was way more surprising than that. If you ask me in the beginning of the
this
year,
isn't the
what-
most surprising game of 2018. It's the
You
most
asked-
news making.
if you asked me in the
And-
beginning of the year, what do I think is going to be coming to
I-
Switch, Final Fantasy VII or
I-
Sky Skipper? I would have said Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, we need to make a call here. Marvel
we can
or
take out Final
FF7?
Fantasy VII.
Okay, so there's our 10, and I've got a confession to make because I'm assuming we're going to do the
Uh-oh.
poll because we're down to like 6 minutes. I'm voting Fortnite number 1 because because Fortnite is the only game this year that got the it's banned in schools treatment. It's the only game this year that made Sony back down like a president for crossplay.
So Fortnite's number 1, then Smash is number 2.
Exactly.
think-
Okay, I can get on board with that.
I would. I'm not gonna say you're wrong because you're right, but I also think, like Smash was not just a huge part of the news cycle; it kind of was a news cycle in itself. But that
You're deep
I
into
think
that
they're-
world.
Me too.
I'm deep into that
Yeah.
world.
But here's
Yes.
another thing about Fortnite, even outside the Nintendo world, people they're getting sued over this. Fortnite
Yeah.
is
Fortnite
He's
is.
the most news-making game of 2018, even outside of Nintendo.
I mean, Fortnite. Fortnite's getting sued. Fortnite was the game that people were doing dances of it on
Yeah.
British panel shows.
Netflix said that Fortnite. Well, I think that was a 2019 thing, but
Real quick, I just want to confirm our top 10 are Donkey Kong, Fortnite, Pokemon, Smash Ultimate, Dragalia, Marvel, Xenoblade, Labo, Diablo 3, and Celeste.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are not in order. Just to everybody listening.
Not in order. That's just those are our choices.
I mean, I think that when it comes down to it, and I guess so, we're going to do the quick polling and then read off the
results. Yeah.
Is that the plan?
Yeah. And we are not allowing no opinion, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I would be baffled if Smash and Fortnite aren't 1 and 2. The order, I'm not really that particular about. I'd be fine with either one. I think Pokemon should probably be in the top half. I think Dragalia probably. I think Celeste and Xenoblade will probably be near the bottom.
Yeah, I figured the top 5 was going to be. I'll be surprised to see where Diablo ends up, but I'm thinking the top 4 is going to be Fortnite, Smash, Pokemon, Dragalia.
It's going to be hard.
And it's just going to be the people on this call or who's voting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
Yes. Matt, you got
I'm loading it now.
Okay.
I have no idea what we're doing.
You're going to get sent a link, and then you go in and just rank the stuff.
1 to 10.
Okay.
This is how we did it. This is how we did the Game of the Year voting, by the way. For those.
So this is how we keep from arguing amongst ourselves for 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a good way to make things go a little quicker.
Oh, I do want to say this guy Anthony Melico in the YouTube chat says Sky Skipper. Justin is right.
All that tells me is 2 people on this earth are wrong.
It's fun to argue with Justin. I hope that everybody gets to do it someday.
I hate to say this, but Sky Skipper is 2018's Breath of the Wild.
It's better. The same. I think I gave Breath of the Wild a 7. Did I give Sky Skipper the same thing? I think I may have.
You might have.
All right.
Should be in the Hangouts chat.
All right, I'm working on it.
Sky Skipper is on par with Breath of the Wild, just so everybody out there knows.
Officially. Okay. What am I doing?
Actually, I would rather play Sky Skipper.
All right.
Oh, okay. We got the link. Sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's in the So we've got the poll. If we wouldn't get taken down for it, I would put the Jeopardy think music in here.
Oh, I already tried that for Jeopardy. They told me no.
Yeah, I'm building mine sort of as it goes here, but
And are we going to use the Minimax results like we did for Game of the Year?
Yeah, so we avoid ties.
Okay.
Because this is eventually going to get turned into a video, so I kind of need. I don't think ties would work too well for that.
Yeah. And ties tend to happen most often when you have fewer people voting than you do things to vote on.
Yeah. So I'll say my top 10 here, or my ranking was Fortnite, Smash, Pokemon, Dragalia, Donkey Kong, Diablo, Marvel, Celeste, Xenoblade, Labo.
I'm still finishing.
Yeah, I've got some tough decisions.
I've got a
let me know. Let me know once everyone has voted.
Yeah,
so that we can close the poll.
Yeah. My top 10 are Fortnite, Smash, Pokemon, Diablo 3, Ultimate Alliance 3, Labo, Celeste, Dragalia, Xenoblade, and Donkey Kong.
If we just end the poll now, then my choices are all the winners. So,
well, no, I just sent mine in. So,
yeah. So, my caveat for Minimax forcing no ties is that sometimes it's mathematically impossible to avoid a tie.
Can I point something else out that I think is important about the Donkey Kong announcement? Kind of opened the floodgates for a lot of other seemingly lost that we're never going to get at home arcade games.
Yeah, and when those games come out, they'll be very newsmaking.
I'm just saying it opened the floodgates.
Donkey Kong's in the top 10. It's in the top 10.
A game that
Worry
came out in
about it.
1981 is a top 10 newsmaking game of 2018. That amazes me.
And actually, Donkey Kong, when you think about it, goes further as a news-making game because of that whole Billy Mitchell situation.
Oh shoot!
Oh.
Yeah, actually, I put because I put DK fifth, so I suppose that little drama was.
We had 48 titles on here. Okay, Donkey Kong's in the top 10. We're
just pointing
working out the
things out we
details,
didn't
but
discuss, everybody,
it's
before you
sitting
submit.
very well.
Donkey
Yeah, Justin, you're gonna have. I don't know if you're still voting, Justin, but you're gonna have to break a pretty big tie down to the bottom.
All right. I'm hitting submit.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, there's
So,
still,
all right.
Oh,
All
okay. That's that
Thank
does
God.
settle it.
All right,
We
ending
actually have a-
poll.
all right.
Okay.
Are we good to end the poll?
I don't even
Yep.
see the list.
We have five.
Oh.
So we have five people. I'll read them off. Whatever.
Yeah, go from 10 up to
All
1.
right. So number 10, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Number 9, Celeste. Number 8, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Number 7, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. Number 6, the Labo Toy-Con kits. Number 5, Donkey Kong. Number 4, Dragalia Lost. Number 3, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Number 2, Fortnite Battle Royale. Number 1, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
I'm very surprised to see Dragalia that high, but
Yeah. And we can look at it. Yeah, Dragalia was very high by basically everybody.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that. It got a 3, a 6, an 8, a 9, and a 4.
Okay.
So only 2 people put it in their top 5.
But but I think that was enough to get it up to 4th.
Yeah, well, because it does also it matters what we all voted for everything else as well. So
All right. Who's the
Mhm.
person who put Pokemon as 9th?
Whoa.
not
That wasn't me. That I put it.
Anonymous secret voting, guys?
But I
I
can.
don't think it was me, but it might have been me.
Yeah, and
I
for the
don't-
curious, Smash had 3 first place votes, and Fortnite had 3 second place votes.
Yeah.
And-
And Fortnite had basically Fortnite and Smash split the lead.
So there we go.
Xenoblade almost had a lot of nice things. It's just a bunch of 6s and 9s, but then an 8 got in there.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that's that. That was fun.
That's the newsmaking games of 2018. Look for that video as soon as I can convince somebody to re-download Dragalia Lost and get some footage for it. Because I own most of these games where I can get them, but I cannot get Dragalia because, God damn it, why? And I think we have enough Labo footage that I can pull this off. So there you have it. Thanks very much for watching. Patreon.com/NWR, NettendoWorldReport.com. Keep giving money for the kids. We are at, let me check the total here, $4,506.69. So let's get Don Mario partying here tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and we will pass it over to Neil and Carmine for Crossover Chaos.
Yeah. I'm
Yay.
ready, Carmine, by the way.
Okay, just let us shuffle things behind the scenes.